The story begins on a busy street in downtown America, filled with cars, people hurrying to their destinations, and the hustle and bustle of the city. A once proud elderly man, Mr. James Carter, in his 70s, wearing ragged clothes, suddenly collapses in the middle of the sidewalk. His face shows signs of exhaustion, his clothes torn, and his hair unkempt. He seems fragile, as though the weight of years of hardship has taken a toll on his body. I had it all once. The world at my feet. Now look at me. All that's left is nothing. He mutters to himself, eyes filled with the deep sadness as he struggles to get back up. People walk by, some avoid eye contact, while others glance briefly but quickly turn away. No one stops to help the elderly man as he attempts to rise to his feet, clearly struggling. His frail body trembles as he finally stands, clutching the side of a building for support. The contrast between his previous life as a successful CEO and his current circumstances creates a deep sense of sadness, and we begin to wonder what led him to such a fate. As Mr. Carter stumbles to his feet, he is approached by a young man, Alex, in his mid-20s, who notices his struggle. Alex is wearing a business suit and carries a briefcase. Despite the busy street, Alex pauses and looks back at the elderly man. "Hey, are you okay, sir? You look like you need help," he says with genuine concern, moving closer to the elderly man. Mr. Carter looks at Alex, but doesn't speak. His pride holds him back, but his eyes show appreciation. Alex helps him to a nearby bench, offering him water from his bottle. He looks around at the passers-by, who ignored the elderly man, clearly upset by the apathy of the crowd. "I don't need charity. Just leave me be," he says, his voice shaky, trying to maintain his dignity despite his physical and emotional exhaustion. Alex doesn't push him, but instead sits down next to him, quietly offering his support. Alex doesn't insist on helping him financially, but makes sure he's comfortable and safe, saying he'll call for help if necessary. We can feel the warmth and compassion from Alex, whose actions are in stark contrast to the indifference of others around him. We feel connected to the older man's emotional struggles. Later that day, Alex decides to help Mr. Carter. They go to a nearby coffee shop where Alex buys them both coffee. As they sit, Alex notices a photograph on the elderly man's phone, screen a younger version of Mr. Carter, smiling proudly in front of a large corporation. The photo is from a time when Mr. Carter was the CEO of a successful company. "Who is that in the photo? You look so different." "What happened?" he asks, his curiosity piqued. "That's me. I had it all. A beautiful wife, children, a company worth millions. But greed destroyed everything. I lost my family, my empire, all because I trusted the wrong people." He pauses, a pained expression crossing his face. Mr. Carter shares his story in fragments, how he built the company from the ground up, how his son betrayed him to take over the business, and how the people he trusted abandoned him. His face softens as he speaks about his family, the pain of losing them still fresh after all these years. Before Mr. Carter's story, we begin to understand the depth of his pain, and his vulnerability evokes both empathy and understanding. Weeks go by, and Alex continues to visit Mr. Carter, providing him with support and comfort. One day, Mr. Carter suddenly falls ill. Alex rushes him to the hospital, where the doctors inform them that Mr. Carter's condition is critical. "But with treatment, he might pull through. I'll pay for everything. Don't worry about the costs. You've done so much for me. It's my turn to help you now." Alex's voice is filled with urgency as he assures Mr. Carter that he'll be there for him. The elderly man, though weak, shakes his head. He refuses to let Alex spend money on his treatment, but Alex insists, telling him that it's not just about money, he owes it to him for the kindness he showed at the beginning. They begin the treatment, and Alex stays by his side through every step. Feel the tension rise as Mr. Carter's life hangs in the balance. Alex's dedication to helping him is inspiring, but it also brings into question the weight of their bond and the sacrifices Alex is willing to make. Months pass, and Mr. Carter gradually recovers. His health improves, and he begins to regain some of his old strength. Alex continues to visit, helping him through therapy and rehabilitation. Mr. Carter, now more active, sits up and talks about how his life has changed. You gave me a second chance. Not just at life, but at redemption. Maybe I can still make things right, somehow. He looks at Alex with deep gratitude. Mr. Carter, now more energized, begins to take walks in the park with Alex. He shares his hopes of rebuilding his life. Perhaps starting over with a small business, or giving back to the community. From there we are encouraged by Mr. Carter's recovery, and see the possibility of redemption, not only for him but for anyone who has ever fallen. A sense of hope and renewal is contagious. One day, the elderly man stands on stage at a technology conference, sharing his story. The young man stands proudly by his side. Life is a long journey, and you never know what's ahead. But never give up, because just when you think it's all over, life opens up new opportunities. He looks out at the audience with a smile, inspiring them with his journey. The crowd applauds, moved by his resilience. The elderly man has found a new purpose in life, and his story is a testament to perseverance and kindred. The story of Mr. Carter and Alex is a powerful reminder of the value of kindness and genuine concern for those around us, especially those who are easily forgotten by society. We never know the story behind each person, and we should not be quick to judge or look down on anyone. The indifference and coldness of the crowd can make a person lonely and hopeless. But a small act of care from a stranger can change their life. The story also affirms that not everyone is judged by their appearance, and sometimes, it is those who seem the weakest who possess the deepest stories and values of life. Always keep kindness in your heart, not only when life is going smoothly, but especially when facing challenges, so that no one has to suffer from loneliness and indifference.